Hey everybody, it's Andrew Douglas Lane here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel, where I give my honest thoughts and opinions as I review fragrances from the cheaper end all the way to the expensive, niche, and luxurious. And this one's definitely aiming at the expensive and luxurious, although not very niche. Today we're reviewing by FREDERIC Malle, hopefully I pronounced that right, Portrait of a Lady. As you can see, I got a little sample bottle here, if you want to call it that. This is a 10 ml, and the reason I got this is because even this was close to $100. This is a very expensive fragrance. I believe that as I'm looking at it right now, most sites are listing a 1.7 fluid ounce and or 50 ml for roughly 275, 285 US dollars. Don't know how much that is in like European money and pounds and so forth and euros, but that's quite expensive for a 50 ml. I think it goes well past 300 if you're going to get, if you can find it, 100 ml. So definitely going to cost you quite a bit in general just to try this. So I recommend, like I always do, if you're going to try fragrances, especially the higher price they go, try to see if you can find a sample. Maybe on somewhere like Max Aroma, maybe if you can find samples for a cheaper price. But before you commit to a full bottle of something like this, especially if you're not able to smell this in a store somewhere, and then here in North Carolina, I don't know anywhere you can find this, please get yourself a sample first. But with the price and stuff out of the way, by the way, very expensive, let's talk about what this is. This is marketed towards women. In general, a lot of fragrances, especially more luxurious houses and stuff, can be more unisex. Even floral ones, as you may already know that this is supposed to be more florally based. But this one's definitely marketed as a feminine and woman's fragrance. It even says an oriental floral fragrance for women, and on the website it speaks about being a woman's fragrance. But I still say that anybody can wear anything. Women can wear deep, musky, incensey, smoky fragrances if it fits your personality and you like that. Men can wear fruity florals, whatever you like to. If it fits you and you like it, please don't let any barriers get in between you. And this one anyways is very well known for a lot of men wearing it. The notes, top notes: rose, clove, raspberry, blackcurrant, cinnamon, and red berries. Very fruity, very floral all the way at the top, mostly leaning towards that kind of spicy, fruity notes. Middle notes: Turkish rose, patchouli, incense, sandalwood, and ylang ylang. Base notes: incense, sandalwood, musk, benzoin, amber, cedar, ambergris, and vanilla. So a lot of notes going on here, but kind of staying towards a similar goal. Again, very earthy, very bright, fruity when it comes to the raspberry and so forth, and mixing in the blackcurrant, but also different types of rose overall accords coming together. So it's very earthy, fruity, floral. So it's a nice blend. I would definitely say, I guess I was wrong, it is on the nicher angle, but yet the fragrance itself is extremely mass appealing personally. Obviously I've tried this already. This isn't my first time smelling it, and I regret, like I said, I wasn't able to get a full bottle of this. I just wasn't willing to commit based off of it not being my typical note profile. But since I can't show you what the full atomizer looks like on the real thing, I'll at least show you here on their official bottle, because this isn't like a website made sample. This is like something that you spend quite a bit of money on, but it comes out pretty well. Honestly, for a sample bottle, it's not bad. Definitely immediately room filling. And as soon as you even spray it into the air in front of you, you're already getting hit with that very bright, fruity, rosy type of scent. Honestly, a lot of the undertones, like those earthy type of undertones in the note profile, kind of aren't there immediately right away, but you are getting a very layered and textured, beautiful, fruity, like raspberry. The raspberry is honestly, to me, fairly strong with a rose type of undertone. So, like I said, even though it's geared towards women, there is something oddly though with the way the rose was done that has a more masculine feel to it. It's beautiful. I like rose fragrances. I don't care much for fruity fragrances very often personally, whether it's citrus or not. But I don't really care for those type of things. That's just my personal taste. So if you like those kind of things, you actually very well might love this right off the bat. But I do love rose and floral fragrances and things along those lines. Let's put a little bit on the skin. I'm not smashing it because putting like crazy amounts of this on my skin, I've got more videos to film, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, this is very strong. I do love this. For what it's worth, I would say this is very beautiful, because the way that the musky earthiness with like that, it says on here it's got amber, cedar, sandalwood, incense, and things like that, with the vanilla type of base going on underneath there. The way that the sandalwoody woody, earthy type of feel, the musky feel going on underneath that fruity rose brightness. It is definitely interesting. I would say that the way the rose was done, it's very familiar if you've put your nose to a lot of other rose fragrances. So like for instance, some of my favorite is Rose Incense by Amouage. Also Rose is Greedy, which I haven't reviewed yet like on my camera, but I have smelled and tested a lot from Mancera, which is a cheaper one compared to something like Amouage or Portrait of a Lady. These are different types of rose fragrances that have an interesting feel to them and yet are very familiar. So it's anything with rose at times is going to feel fairly familiar, whether it's like on a cheaper type of Febreze type of floral scent, or like a very luxurious, well done with like real Rose Absolute or something like that. It's going to have a familiar feel to it because it's rose. And if you've ever smelled anything like that, you're not going to be surprised. But they did make this have that mild uniqueness that stands out and feels different than something maybe you've gotten elsewhere. And it's also extremely radiant and bright as soon as you spray it, compared to maybe a lot of other rose fragrances that can be strong and long lasting, but maybe even right from the jump are not as loud. This one is very loud right away. So it does smell honestly expensive. I like it a lot, although it's not because of those fruity notes. For me personally, this isn't something that maybe I would gravitate towards to wear. Again, even though anyone can wear this. So I would say a lot of people would love this. I actually already have promised this particular sample away to a coworker of mine who is a lady. She absolutely loved it when I let her try it out. And I thought, okay, well, if you like it and I'm not going to use it, I'll let you have it. But it's a beautiful smell and it's blended extremely well. I'm not a professional, but I work around fragrances, but more for candle usage and essential oils. I'm not around perfumery at my job, but for my personal taste, I can say that even though this isn't something I would wear, even though I love rose fragrances and things like that, because of those fruity notes, it feels like it was extremely well done. I can smell that the person behind this obviously knows what they're doing. As I put this on, two of my coworkers, including the one that I'm giving this to, I let them put it on their skin, two different people, two different skin complexions and so forth. I let them put it on, and throughout their 8-hour work shift, I work 10 hours, throughout their 8-hour work shift, and we start at the same time. At the end of the day, I didn't smell them again, but they did come to me and tell me before they left that it lasted on their skin the entire day. So I haven't personally tried this myself, but other people who've tried this, since I've had this sample, said that it does have excellent longevity. Projection, they said, and people around them who spoke to them as they asked, said that overall, for a pretty decent amount of time, probably about 4 hours or so, you're getting a decent amount of coming off of you. But after a while, obviously, like most fragrances, it becomes a little bit more intimate. So I would say probably about maybe after by the 5th or 6th hour, I would say overall from what I was told. Again, I didn't try this, so I'm sorry. Compared to my normal videos, I personally try things and then get results. From what I was told by these two people, it seems to have come off maybe after about that 5th hour, probably like half a foot to a foot. So maybe if you really smash this on, but we don't want to waste our fragrances. We want very expensive things to have bright staying power in and of themselves, which is very minimal spray. So for this being so expensive as it is, closer to that 200 and so, closer to the 300 range if you're going even for a 50 mil, you want it to really radiate off of you. But it seems to have an excellent longevity and decent enough projection for the longevity and time frames you get out of it. So, and it stays, from what I could smell off of them when they walk past me, fairly honestly linear, but because of so much of a blend in this concoction, that's perfectly fine. So I would say for the fragrance, in and of itself, and its fair amount of uniqueness compared to other rose fragrances, and it definitely has that luxurious feel. The fragrance of itself, if we were doing a 0 out of 10, I would give it, I would say probably a 9. I'll stick it at actually 8.5 because it is very beautiful, very luxurious, and very interesting. So I'll say 8.5 because it's very, very well done. But it's still very comparable to a lot of other well-done rose fragrances that have maybe a better overall price for how much you get for it. With projection and so forth, I'll crank it up to maybe like an 8.8 because it has what you want out of it. Projection and longevity, it has what you want out of it. But I'm not going past an 8.8. I would honestly deduct points off of it because of the price itself. Because even though this was excellently done, and the materials in this were probably extremely well chosen, I just have a really hard time rating things extremely high when, even if it's very well done, I can see the prices for how much you get out of it, because what you buy, you want to be able to wear often enough, unless you just have money to throw away, which a lot of you, including myself, don't. I would like to say that something that's that high should come with a better amount. Like, look at the cost of Parfums de Marly versus how much of a bottle size you get. Something like this, you do not get an incredible amount for what you've paid, even though what you've paid for is technically wonderful in and of itself. It's not like it's the greatest thing ever. It's not like angels just came down and they just spit in a bottle for you and this is what you got. So it's very, very, very expensive, but it was very well done. So I think I'm going to sit around an 8.8. Could be an 8.7, but I'm going to stick with an 8.8 because it's beautiful, but you can find other rose fragrances for potentially better quality, better overall prices, but very similar to this. So it's not unique enough to just be like, wow. So it's great. 8.8 is what I'm going to sit at. And I do like it, but it's just not personally for me. And if you love this, as if it's your favorite fragrance in the world, if you know better places to get it for a better price, please leave your thoughts in the comments. Everybody's welcome here. But I'm not going to go Google about something that's just not overall something that I think I can really, really recommend and get crazy behind, even if I think it is a wonderful smell in of itself and very well done. So Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle, I'm going to give it an 8.8, but again, we're all welcome to disagree because it's fragrances, and just like all art, it's subjective. So anybody is welcome here anytime to leave your thoughts, comments. What would you like to see me review? What in general is your favorite fragrances, and how do you feel about this one? So thank you so much for watching Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. I'm Andrew Douglas Lane at the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. God bless each and every one of you, no matter who you are, where you come from, what you believe in, as long as you are being caring and welcoming to other people in this world and not trying to harm anyone else in this world, you're welcome here. So thank you all, and I'll see you next time.